Hello again, fellow audiophiles. I am Wave Theory, and I am back today to give you a first impressions video of the Dan Clark Audio Expanse open back planar magnetic around the ear headphone that is the company's open back flagship, coming in at $4,000 US. It was loaned to me by a friend of the channel, sent to me direct from the retailer, so I got this brand new in the box, and so here I am to give some first impressions. But first, some shameless self-promotion. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Please remember to hit that like button, and if you haven't, please subscribe. Also, I have a Patreon set up so that you can help support me on a monthly basis, and I've set up a PayPal donation so that you can help me out in that way too if a monthly subscription does not make sense for you. Links for all of that, including the benefits, in the description below. Please check those out. All right, on with the show. Alright, so once again, this is a first impressions video, so I reserve the right to change my opinion on these things as we go into the full review and either walk back some of the claims that I'm about to make or, change them entirely or reaffirm some of them. We'll see what the case may be. Alright, and so again, because this is a loan, I have no affiliation with Dan Clark Audio, so all of the opinions you are about to hear are mine and mine alone. Now, I'm going to try to make this quick, and I kind of need to, because I've only really had about 2 hours of actual listening with this thing, and that is for a couple of very good reasons. Number one, Dan Clarks are notorious for needing break-in. So I gave this a quick listen when I first got it and got out of the box, put it on, made sure everything was working appropriately, and all of that, gave a quick listen, made some impressions there, and then I set up a system in another room that was my Surface Pro 4 laptop, the Hi-Fiman EF400 DAC amp, and this headphone, and then just let this start playing basically from it arrived on a Thursday afternoon. This is a Sunday afternoon, and so it's been going for, basically 72 hours of break-in since then, and that's when I paused to listen to this for another hour or so with some of my test tracks, and just to kind of get a feel for how it's going. I will probably give it about another 30-ish hours of break-in to get that 100-hour break-in point, because that is about where the Dan Clark Stealth really began to open up and do its thing. And so all of the thoughts that you are going to hear are incomplete because of that and the limited listening time and that sort of thing. Now, really quick to get into it, the build is basically identical to the Dan Clark Stealth. Okay, it has the same form factor, it has the same size, it has the same shape. It does this cool little clicky fold-up thing to fit in the carrying case, which I will show in the full review. Right, and so the build is pretty much identical, save for the fact that we have this open back pattern here, and I don't know if this will show up on the camera or not, but there's a light blue accent color behind the grill work there that when you see it in person looks pretty sharp. It is the same color as the trim work here on the A and Expanse there, and then on the inside of the headband we see that blue in there as well. Okay, where the Stealth was red. But other than that, like the fit, the finish, the comfort, all of that sort of thing is just, it's the Stealth. It's open back Stealth, basically. All right, so the one issue I would have with that is, like, because of this like elasticy headband system right here where it stretches right there, it's like sort of like an elastic kind of thing. All right, so it supposedly just automatically stretches to fit your head and all of that. Like, the clamp is not very tight. It already feels like it moves around on the head a lot. So, if you're going to be doing some headbanging music or anything like that, and you're just really tapping, bobbing your head as you're getting into the music, it does, like, just doing this, it does just kind of slide around a little bit, and I can hear it and feel it a little bit. So the clamp isn't very tight. And so that happens. Just be aware of that. I don't know if that will get any better. It probably will fit a little bit tighter on heads that are larger than mine, because I think you can see I'm not stretching this very far in there. Okay, it certainly has a lot more stretch than my head is giving it. So if you happen to stretch this more, like, that may be less of an issue for you. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Quickly then, the sound impressions. When I first got it out of the box, like it sounded really pleasant. Like the tuning just had a really balanced, pleasant nature to it. And like there was some pretty good detail. Like I was impressed with the bass texturing and all of that right out of the box too. Now I don't think the bass extension was quite up to snuff yet. I think that's probably a break-in issue. And after 70 plus hours of break-in here, I think I do hear the bass, at least the extension, rounding out a little bit. The other big thing that I noticed, and this is important compared to the Stealth, is like the Stealth had almost no macrodynamic impact. Some people may like that presentation, but that just, there was no engagement, there was no fun factor to it for me because the macrodynamics were just almost essentially zero, right? These are an improvement there. Now, they are not head slammers by any stretch of the imagination. Like, at least as of yet, even with the break-in, they have not yet even reached a level of like hi-fi-man levels of slam or anything like that, which, again, hi-fi-man is, I guess, it's like kind of like average middle of the road, in my opinion, in terms of like slam. And these aren't quite there, but they are a step up from the Stealth so far. We'll see what happens with another 30 hours of break-in. Now, so again, like the tuning was nice and pleasant. The bass texturing there, the resolution was all right. It sounded a little bit veiled. Again, I'm chalking that up mostly to break-in and Dan Clark's needing a lot of it. Okay, so then I let it start going on the break-in, and just every now and then I would walk into the room, take them off this headphone stand that I had them sitting on. Okay, put them on my head just to see where they're going, and like it just, the stuff is all over the place as these things break in, right? At times, like that pleasant tuning became very mid-forward the first couple of times that I checked it, and there was like a lot of shoutiness and honkiness in there. And then after that, that sort of evened out, and then like there was some sibilance, and now I'm not hearing a lot of sibilance or sharp treble and all of that. In fact, I think the FR is, the frequency response meaning, is settling out to a fair degree on these, and it's, you know, it's getting back to that really nice, pleasant, well-balanced, almost Harman tuning, I think, in there. So just, you know, if you're a fan of the Harman curve, I think that's probably what they're going for here. At least that's what it sounds like to me, at least right now. Could change, right? We'll see. Early impressions, right? And all of that, but there might just be a little bit of veil to them yet. So I'm going to give it another bit, you know, because I think there's just a little bit of micro detail missing. You might hear the dog barking. Sorry about that. We're just going to power through. Like there's just a little bit of micro detail missing in there, and we'll see if that comes back with the other break-in. But a step up from the Stealth in macro dynamics. I don't think they're going to be world beaters there, all that. And I know, but nice, pleasant, well-balanced, all-around tuning. The staging seems rather big. Pretty good sense of positional effects, the imaging and the separation in there so far. So like that's holding up well. The mids are maybe just a little bit forward, but they're so far avoiding a lot of the shout and honk that I have a problem with. And so like I listened to Eagle's Seven Bridges Road on this really quick, and it did a really good job of separating all of the voices out, but also blending them together well, like you know, you're supposed to have with nice vocal harmonies. So that was nice in there too. Now, before I go, one thing that I noticed is, even though they are open back, when I put this on my head, they still sound sort of closed. Like as I have them on my head here, for one thing, a couple of room noises that were going on, like the fan from my desktop PC, which is off to my left, sounds fairly muffled. My own voice here as I talk sounds fairly muffled, and if I snap my fingers around, I hear them, but it's not anything like, you know, a big hi-fi man where sound just goes in and out like crazy, okay? There is a little bit of external attenuation going on here. That probably has something to do with the way Dan Clark designs his headphones, and there's like, I don't know what's going on in there. There's like some sort of wave guiding and all of that going on. I'd have to go back and look at what it is in there that is affecting the sound, all of that. So it doesn't sound truly open as a result, just FYI. But again, pleasant, pleasing, but still seems like there's probably a good chance there will be good resolution there. Even though it does seem like there's just a last bit of micro detail that's not in here yet. And one of three things is going to happen. Either it's not there, which I will report on that if that's the truth, or it's going to come back with break-in, or there was a third one. What is it? I don't know. Maybe there's only two things. Okay, whatever. All right, so we'll see. We'll see with that. All right, so I will go ahead and leave it there. I am Wave Theory. This has been my first impressions of the Dan Clark Audio Expanse. I somehow made it this far into the first impressions without calling this the Stealth, so that's a victory. All right, thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the full review of this coming up within the next small number of weeks, I hope. And as always, enjoy the music.